Screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. Like a vision, she dances across the porch as the radio plays. Roy Orbison singing for the lonely. Hey, that's me and I want you only. Don't turn me home again. I just can't face myself alone again. Don't run back inside, darling, you know just what I'm here for. So you're scared and you're thinking that maybe we ain't that young anymore. Well, show a little faith, there's magic in the night. You ain't a beauty, but hey, you're alright. Oh, and that's alright with me.
Merry Christmas!
The air was thick with the scent of pine and the excitement of the holiday season as Jake and Summer walked hand in hand through the picturesque Christmas tree farm. The setting sun casting a golden glow over the rows of evergreens, and a light dusting of snow covered the ground, creating a magical moment crackling with unspoken desires. As they strolled along, their fingers interlaced, Jake couldn't help but steal glances at Summer. Her cheeks were rosy from the cold, her eyes twinkling with delight. Her contagious laughter filled the air, warming Jake's heart even more than the crackling fire in the farm's cozy cabin. They had been friends for years, but lately, something had shifted between them. There was an unspoken tension, a magnetic pull that seemed to grow stronger with each passing day. It was a secret passion, burning deep within their souls, waiting for the perfect moment to be set free. They reached the end of the lot, where a single magnificent tree stood tall, adorned with delicate ornaments and shimmering lights. Jake's heart skipped a beat as he realized this was their last chance to choose a tree together. Summer turned to him, her eyes capturing his gaze. "Jake," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I have something to confess." His heart pounded in his chest as he nodded, his voice catching in his throat. "Go ahead, Summer." She took a deep breath, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "I love you, Jake. I've loved you for so long, but I was too afraid to say it. I didn't want to risk our friendship." Jake's eyes widened, his heart soaring with joy. "Summer, I love you too," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "I've loved you since the moment I met you. You're the light in my life, the warmth that fills my heart." In that instant, the world around them faded into obscurity. The only thing that mattered was the raw, unadulterated love they held for each other. Their fingers intertwined, their bodies gravitating towards one another as if pulled by an invisible force. Without hesitation, Jake pulled Summer into his arms, his lips capturing hers in a searing, passionate kiss. Fireworks exploded in the sky, mirroring the fireworks that exploded within them. Their bodies melted together, their souls intertwining, as they lost themselves in the sheer bliss of their long-awaited union. The snowflakes fell softly around them, creating a winter backdrop as Jake deepened the kiss, his lips moving hungrily against Summer's. She melted into his embrace, her body arching against his as a surge of desire coursed through her veins. His hands roamed her body, tracing the curves of her waist and the swell of her hips. The heat between them intensified with each touch, stoking the flames of their passion. The world around them ceased to exist as they were consumed by the intoxicating blend of love and lust. Their tongues tangled in a dance of longing as Jake backed Summer against a nearby tree, pressing his body against hers. The rough bark scratched against her back, but the pain only fueled their desire further. Gasping for breath, Jake pulled away for a moment, his eyes locking with Summer's. "Are you sure about this?" he whispered, his voice filled with a mixture of need and concern. Summer nodded, her lips swollen and her eyes filled with an unbridled hunger. "Yes, Jake. I've never been more sure of anything in my life." With a growl of desire, Jake lifted Summer into his arms, her legs wrapping around his waist as he carried her towards the cabin. The snow crunched beneath their feet as they moved, their bodies pressed together in a desperate embrace. As they reached the door, Jake kicked it open with a swift motion, not wanting to waste a single second. He laid Summer down on the plush rug in front of the roaring fire, their breath coming in ragged gasps. The flames danced in the hearth, mirroring the fiery passion that burned between them. Jake's hands roamed every inch of Summer's body, leaving a trail of fire in their wake. Their clothes were discarded in a frenzy of need, the cold air contrasting with the scorching heat that engulfed them. Their bodies moved together in a symphony of desire, their love unfolding in a primal rhythm that echoed through the cabin. Moans of pleasure filled the air as they surrendered completely to the depths of their passion, their connection growing stronger with each intimate touch. Time lost all meaning as they reached heights of pleasure they had only dreamt of. The crackling fire and the scent of pine mingled with their shared ecstasy, creating a sensory overload that would forever be imprinted in their memories. As they lay tangled in each other's arms, the snow continued to fall outside, blanketing the Christmas tree farm in a pristine white sugar buzzing with the overflowing electricity released from their passion.
The air was thick with tension as Jake Cutler, a rugged and brooding painter, stood in his Christmas cottage. He knew that Summer Cottage, a confident and ambitious corporate land buyer, was about to walk through the door. It was a clash of two worlds, their desires and intentions at odds, and yet, there was an undeniable attraction between them. As the door swung open, Jake's piercing green eyes met Summer's intense gaze. She was dressed in a sleek black suit, her blonde hair cascading over her shoulders. He couldn't help but notice the slight trembling of her lips, betraying the facade of confidence she wore. Jake broke the silence, his voice low and gravelly. "Summer, I didn't expect you to come here tonight." Summer's voice quivered slightly as she responded, "I couldn't resist the chance to see this place before the auction tomorrow. It's enchanting." He watched as she surveyed the cozy cottage, her eyes tracing the delicate snowflake ornaments hanging from the ceiling, and the soft glow of the fireplace casting shadows on the walls. It was as if the magic of Christmas had woven its way into the very fabric of the cottage. "Enchanting," Jake repeated, his voice heavy with meaning. "That's what this place is to me. It's my sanctuary, my inspiration. And it's about to slip through my fingers." Summer's eyes softened, a glimmer of understanding in her gaze. "Jake, I know my job is to acquire the land for development, but I can see how much this place means to you. Maybe there's a way we can find a compromise." He approached her slowly, his footsteps echoing in the silence. "Compromise? How can there be a compromise when this cottage represents everything I hold dear? It's a part of me, Summer." She took a step closer, the air crackling with electricity. "Let me help you, Jake. Let me find a solution that satisfies both your heart and my responsibilities. I want to understand what makes this place so special." There was a vulnerability in Summer's eyes, a genuine desire to bridge the gap between their worlds. And in that moment, Jake felt his walls crumbling. He reached out, his hand trembling, and gently touched her cheek. "You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, Summer," he whispered, his voice filled with longing. A tremor ran through her body as she leaned into his touch. "Maybe I don't, but I'm willing to take that risk, Jake. I want to unravel the mystery behind your passion for this place." Jake's gaze intensified, his fingers trailing down her jawline. "You're playing with fire, Summer. This connection between us, it's dangerous." She let out a soft gasp, her eyes locked onto his. "Then let us burn together, Jake." "Then let us burn together, Jake. Let go of the fear and let desire guide us." Their lips collided in a desperate and heated kiss, the taste of longing and forbidden desire consuming them. Jake's hands found their way to Summer's waist, pulling her closer, their bodies molding together as if they were meant to fit. Their kisses deepened, tongues intertwining in a dance that mirrored the storm of emotions raging within them. Jake's hands roamed over Summer's body, igniting a fire that only grew stronger with each caress. With a swift movement, he lifted her up, her legs wrapping around his waist as he carried her toward the flickering fireplace. The crackling flames mirrored the heat between them, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Summer's hands fumbled with the buttons of Jake's shirt, urgency and desire guiding her movements. She yearned to feel his bare skin against hers, to become lost in the intoxicating rhythm of their bodies. As their clothes fell to the floor, they sank onto the plush rug in front of the fireplace, their bodies entwined in a passionate embrace. Jake's lips traced a blazing trail down Summer's neck, leaving a trail of fire and longing in their wake. Their bodies moved in perfect synchrony, the room filled with the symphony of their moans and heavy breaths. They lost themselves in the intensity of their connection, the boundaries between them blurring as they surrendered to the raw desire that consumed them. In that moment, Jake and Summer were more than mere strangers caught in a clash of worlds. They were two souls intertwined, finding solace and passion in the midst of uncertainty. And as the flames of their passion burned brighter, they both knew that this night would forever be etched into their hearts.
Our promises will be broken, our ghosts in the eyes of all the boys we sent away. They haunt us as the betrothed skeleton frames of burned out Chevrolets. They scream your name at night in the streets, your graduation gown lies in rags